Hello everyone, it's me, SoulServer17 here. Let me first, like usual, I do not own this picture, not paid video. Alright, okay, so I just watched the last video. I said Izuku was 14. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute. Huh? And then just like, oh yeah, they were 14 in the original when it happened, and yeah, I'm making it where it'll be 15, so yeah, I was just like having a brain fart for every couple of minutes before making this video. But anyways, here's the thing. Izuku's gonna be, well, he's gonna be getting one for all, alright? But the problem, he's gonna get the 100%, but he still has to train with it enough to unlock the other quirks. And I'm not gonna go with the anime or how it unlocked them. I'm gonna go with the ones that basically sorry, basically the ones that are useful for him. Well, actually, all of them are useful. But anyways, besides the point. Also, the quirk will change. I'm not gonna say how, but it'll change. So, anyways, moving on. So, we go to Izuku just entering. Oh, I forgot to say the normal thing I usually do. This is what if Deku was Jason Part 2, or became Jason Part 2. So, alright. So basically, last time we left off is where Zuko just entering, well, the rim portion. You see, I am doing something different in this story because of Denki's, well, involvement in Class 1A before it becomes Class 1-2. I mean, not Class 1-2, Class 2A. So, basically, you'll see something. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. So Deku takes the rim portion. And while he's looking at these, well, the questions, he's like, huh? Wow. I mean, I know I didn't study much or at all, but these are just so simple. Ah, first mistakes here, then here, and well, he just starts correcting the mistakes of Nezu made on purpose and answering the questions. So, that's what happens. Next, after he turns it in, he basically just goes up to President Mike, like, here, sir, answer all the questions, and basically then just whispers President Mike basically like this. And also there was a couple mistakes on the test. I fixed them. So yeah. But anyways, so Mike says, "Thank you, little listener. Now please just go over there and wait, for everyone to basically be done." So after that, Izuku goes. He didn't get a high score, but he fixed the ones that he saw the mistakes of. So still pretty impressive. And it took him about 20 minutes. I mean, I wasn't gonna make him basically be like big brain, because he didn't study much. He just worked on his quirk ability to fight. Study a little bit here and there, but that was it. So yeah. So Mike's checking out the paper, and he goes like, "Huh, well, call up Nezu." So basically, when he calls up Nezu, All Might is talking to him, and he was like, "And you see, that is why I think he can handle One for All. Do you believe so, Nezu?" And he goes, yes, I do. But there's a slight chance the quirk will change dramatically to the point where it may even be unknown. Be careful, All Might. Alright? He was like, yes, Nezu. So, basically in this one, he talks to Nezu and be more, and just because he's the most intelligent person he knows, it's way more easier to, basically, you know what I mean, not get answers quickly, but discuss things that's serious topic. So like this. So after that, all of a sudden Nezu gets looks at the cell phone that's being called, and it's from President Mike. He was like, "Yes, Mike, what is it?" And he goes like, "My kid Izuku Midoriya just turning the ants. I mean, his paper. He mostly got like half of them right." What do you mean by half? And like it's 95 of them right. Only the last 5 wrong. I don't know why, but I mean, he basically was saying like, if someone had a hostage, what do you do? Write in a sentence. And he said, teleport behind the guy, then proceed to rip off his head, or take a machete after grabbing his head, pull him away for the hostage, and cut it off. Which he looks at All Might and be like, and this is he goes like, I know, but I did tell you. He became Jason Voorhees' successor. He's like, I know, but seriously, you think he's here material? And basically then I'll be like, Nezu, you forgot. On the paper, if what type of hero you want to be, there's anti-hero. He's like, oh, yes, it's just, no one ever chooses that. Like, legit. I forget. Like, I put that on like so many years ago, and then no one basically like say, "Oh, I want to become an anti-hero." I even have special classes made for anti-heroes if they ever wanted to become one. And then basically, Nezu has a sad, like, has a tear coming down his face a little, and basically All Might's like, well, look at the bright side. You have an anti-hero. Basically, horror movie slasher type of hero, but anyways. Which Nezu was like, sighs, we're like, well, at least these classes can finally be used. Like, the people I hired those years ago don't, oof. They don't live, they're not alive no more. I mean, I made the courses, but I never really had teachers. I gotta find teachers. Basically, he just looks at Aizawa like, you're pretty scary, Aizawa. You want? He was like, yeah, sure, why not? I do have some lethal kill techniques I can probably teach him. Or at least give him one-on-one. I don't know. I'll figure out when I go. He's like, great, I'll just have to get some other, heroes, or actually maybe even a villain or two. Which, that kind of surprises All Might and everyone else in there. So, while Zuko was waiting, everyone came around, but he notices someone. Someone basically walking in. A girl with basically long, basically brown hair, and has a weird look on her face. What I mean by a weird look, I mean like, it's not Ochako. I mean, it's like long brown hair. I just don't know I think they're brown too, but hold on. Okay, yeah, I was right. Basically, this girl, brown hair, brown eyes, and basically, like, the look of, like, not afraid, but more of, she's not, because she's, like, looking to her side and talking to someone, basically. And he goes, wait, is that? No way. So Zuki gets up from the table and his seat, goes over to this girl, because she's the only one there at the time. And then he goes like, hey, what's your name? She goes, Cammy. Yours? He was like, Jason. It's nice to meet you, Cammy. It's like, because he knows they're not responsible for his death, but it's like, he wants to see what's up. So he was like, I see you're talking to somebody. Are they invisible because of their quirk? He was like, this is my friend Izuku Midoriya. I mean, what, you can't see him? And he's like, and basically dude was like, in his head, he's like, shit. Did my death really my supposed death messed her up that badly? I mean, I look exactly the same when wait, I mean, my face does, but I mean, then basically Cammy goes like, wait, you're, how is that? And he was like, anyways, I'll hope I can see you in in UA if you get in, if you pass. I mean, you probably got into Class 1A or something already. Which, Cammy says, yeah, I'm just retaking it. Bako's coming around too. And, well, basically, when the doors open, Cammy think it was Bakugo, but to her surprise, it's a long purple hair girl, basically with earphone jacks, coming for the door. And Izuka looks over and he goes, Kyoka Jiro. Wow, she let herself go. I mean, hair wise, it's like past her. Well, I guess it's past her shoulders. Jeez. Basically, Cam gets up and goes, Jiro, is that? Which, for some reason, Jiro just looks at her with a completely blank stare. He goes, Cammy, it's been a while. But for some reason, Izuku feels like he knows that stare for some reason. And yes, I am bringing stuff in from other horror movie. Well, from another one. So, Izuku just feel like this feels off. Why do I feel like I need to fight her? So, Izuku just goes over to his seat and just says, I'm gonna take a nap, and just falls asleep. Now, because Jiro sees Izuku like this, a grin comes on her face, and she goes to in her head, she's like, at least I can see what he's dreaming about. Maybe I can give him some nightmares and thin out the competition. So, basically what happens is, after Zuhu just, well, how I say this, sits in her seat, puts on some headphones, and closes her eyes, Izuku wakes up in his dream, as he sees, well, it's weird. It's like he's back at Crystal Lake, but it's not. Because he's on the day of his death, like on a plank, as he goes, I see. I usually don't dream about my death. I don't even dream at all. So this must mean one thing. That memory of a freaking Freddy... Wait, that freaking? No, that effing Freddy Cougar guy. What was his quirk again? Well, he mysteriously was killed or was sent back to hell by his own kid. Dream Demon! As then basically, all of a sudden, Izuku just hears slash marks from the board as he just does jump up and then just starts floating up in the air. As he basically saw the slash mark, as there's like claws coming through the board, and then it's going back into the water. And Izuku was like, So, because this is his dream, he knows what he can do in it. And so he basically... I know Freddy can control anyone's dreams, even if you do have like a strong will, but I'm saying Izuku ain't no normal person. So basically, he just rips open the freaking lake, as then he sees blonde hair with basically looks like a heart monitor part, like on it, in her hair with a hat on, and the outfit of Freddy Cougar, but female. And he's like, a fucking female Freddy Cougar. Who knew? And she goes like, how the fuck do you know my name, dirtbag? And he's like, wow. huh. It basically does like floating down. And he's like, never expected to see a dream demon in my life. So, what are you? Freddy Krueger, but turned into a different gender? Just some quirk of someone else, just taking on the appearance of Freddy? Or you actually are a dream demon, but just from bloodline or something? I mean, I don't know, but look. I don't think you can kill me because unlike any other person you've killed, I probably am the one who's the most dangerous. And then she goes like, how the hell are you even supposed to use a quirk in your dream? This is impossible. I mean, like, any person I've killed before never used their quirk. And then Izuku's like, just look at this freaking female Freddy Krueger be like, are you sure you're Freddy? The Freddy Krueger I got from Jason's memories was more creepy and terrifying and ready to kill someone at any time. And she goes, just shut up! I'm not Freddy Krueger. I'm, well, I mean, I am, but reborn. So he's like, so reincarnation into a new body, but as a quirk? Am I right? Wrong? I mean, as if basically just pulls out the script and he goes like, this is what the script says. I mean, you're supposed to be a fucking quirk, basically, of someone in the room. I mean, the viewers already know this. As basically, she's like, why did you just break the fourth wall? He's like, it's in the script for me to break the fourth wall. He's like, there never is a script. It's just a blank piece of paper that you just pulled out of nowhere. It's like, as he just throws it away, as it just burns up, he's like, thanks for ruining everything on that one. Jeez, try to make a little joke and you get the 3rd-degree burn. And then she goes like, let's get back to the topic on hand. Alright, Izuku. He's like, yeah, Jiro. Jeez. And then basically back into the scene. And wow. He's like, okay. So, you're a fucking quirk. Right? She nods and he's like, alright, well, that's all I need to know. And then he basically just says, well, it's been fun, but time for you to wake up. As then when he snaps his fingers, the element of the water just starts flowing up, and then he goes, Sea Kraken. Devour. As it just goes straight at female Freddy Krueger. As then basically she grants and just makes it slash. But because of this, Izuku found basically just uses time to, well, punch himself, which how he basically punched himself awake, the superhuman strength, and boom! He wakes up, he's like, ah! You know, he just spits out blood, and a tooth popped out. He's like, ah, great. There goes a tooth. But he just replaces it back in, and he just heals, and he's like, much better. Basically, when Jiro wakes up, she looks over, and she was like, how the... Wait, was that... how did... I'm seeing things. Basically, is Jiro... Let's just say... Jiro's quirk. In this what if, Jiro has 2 quirks. One's called Dream Demon. The other one is called... earphones. Earphone jacks, basically. Dream Demon is going to be a quirk that you're going to know later on about the history of it, but for right now, not so much, okay? So, as everyone's starting to come in, Bakugo sits over at Izuku, and he was like, wait, since you never went to school, how are you going to, and he goes, I don't know, but hey, I mean, let's just hope so, right? And he goes, yeah, I mean, they're talking about is like where he's gonna be. So, President Mike starts explaining everything, and Zuko's just like, Lord. And then all of a sudden, he says this to every student. He's like, "Oh yeah, just a thing to tell you. Basically, class 1A, class 2A, the class 2As of the UA High, they're all here because they're still gonna be a part of class 1A, which we technically gonna have kind of, well, how can I say this right to to you little listeners? Basically, we're having basically class, like, there's like two class 1As. There's class 1A and there's class 1A2. People who are going to be in class 1A2 are going to be these new people because of some things that happen here at the school. Along with if there's going to be a class 1A and then class 1B, basic class, not 1B, class 2B, you know, will then basically be class 1A still like normal. If you guys are wondering why I'm saying doing it like this, it's because keep the story going like in canon a little. And basically that would be class 1A2. So basically we have people from both those classes working together in unison to get even stronger, faster. Also, little listeners, this is basically also precaution. Because, well, you never know what's going to happen. But classes are going to be separate for each one of you guys. So, anyways, though, let me go on to the 0-pointer, and it's just and then, well, Ida. Ida's saying stuff, and then Zuko's like, "Hey, glasses, sit down, jeez, let him speak. He's gonna get there." So, Ida doesn't say nothing. His friend looked over, he sees a Zuko, it's just intimidation. So then he just shuts up. He's like, "Gotcha." So, basically, what happens next is, President Mike says thank you to Zuko. Zuko says there's no problem. And, well, after the explanation of the 0-point, everyone's going off to their section, but Izuku is stopped by All Might. He was like, "Yo, Midoriya, can I please talk to you for a minute?" He was like, "Sure, why not?" So, when they get to a secure location made by Nezu, he, debuffs. He was like, "Anyways, Midoriya, I need to ask you a question." It's like, "Okay." He was like, "Will you be my successor?" He's like, "Successor? Oh, yeah." Here's the reason why Izuku's saying, "Oh, yeah." Jason has, in this version, what if he's been alive when he was 30, he was alive, but died, well, somewhere in his 30s, and then lived for 150 years. So, don't you think he'll know about One for All and All for One? Or at least some things of it? Which I believe he would. So, he's like, "Let me guess. One for All." He's like, "How do you..." He's like, "Remember, Jason was around a lot longer than you." So, All Might says, yes. But will you? He's like, sure, why not? It'd be a good way to pass the time, I think. Or, learn more things than I could handle. He said, "Well, your course sounds good. So, how do I..." And then basically All Might says, "Eat this." He's like, "I'd rather drink your blood than your hair." Than eat your hair, basically. And he's like, "Come on, I washed it." It's like, it doesn't matter. I don't want to." He's like, "Just eat it already." And he just caves and he goes like, "Fine." So he basically eats the hair and, well, there's no power up. He's like, "What the?" He's like, "It'll take a while, but you'll soon enough be ready." Good day. So yeah. So let me just tell you this though. When he gets there, nothing really will happen besides him just being near the door. And then when the door opens up enough, he just runs in. And it's just like Slash, like ripping up robots, breaking them apart, and just doing whatever, he needs to do. Yeah. So basically, he also teleports around, grabbing something like a metal rod, destroying the robots. And, wow, let's just say this. He basically ranks up points pretty quickly, so there's a decided to run the 0-pointer. And, well, this, basically in this one, Cammy, is just destroying, like, able to distract the robots enough to basically turn them off or to attack them. Basically, she learned some form of fighting style with weapons to basically destroy the robots. So what happens after that though is she does get like trapped by the rubble instead of Uraka. When she was screaming for help, everyone's running away, but meanwhile Zuko was basically killing, like destroying a robot. He heard people screaming, he runs over to it, and then he just sees the 0-pointer, everyone run away. Basically, Nez is trying to show up the 0-pointer, but he can't, and then he hears Cammy screaming out for help. Jiro just gets to the scene, and and basically, before she can even move, Izuku just bolts in. He just bolts all the way over, and just grabs the rubble, immediately throwing it at the 0-pointer. Like, foot. Well, yeah, leg, actually. And then basically grabbing Cammy and running over to where Jiro is and telling her, and then basically after he, gives Cammy the Jiro, he basically tells her, get her out of here, now. And, well, she does. So, what Izuku does is, he looks at his 0-pointer, still coming, he teleports basically to it. Like, he basically teleports to it, so that way he can climb up. And what happens is, when he gets up to the head, oh my god. Rip and tear till there was nothing left. Yep, he basically destroyed the robot from the inside out. So basically, everyone was shocked by this because Izuku came out and his shirt is like burning, but he basically put out the fire and there are holes. For some reason, everyone, people who would like run up to him, like Jiro, would basically be like, how are you? And they would see that he's healed. He's like, just a strong quirk. Nothing biggie. Which he was shocked by. He wanted to test out his strength from that as a quirk. So, because he already knows the upper limits of it. So, basically, Izuku, impressed everyone. Which, Aizawa was like, holy crap. How many points did that kid have? And then Nezu just says, 700. Impressive. He's like, well, that's class 1A material. My class, basically. Which Nezu nods. Actually, I think maybe we'll make this a 15-minute video, guys. Hold up. Alright, sorry. But anyways. So, after that, everyone was kind of shocked. All mine wasn't. But, we were just going to go over to Izuku. We got a girl just asking him if he's okay. And he's like, yes, I'm fine. And she still said, but, she's saying, no, you have to come with me. Come over to my office. He's like, fine, recovery girl, she says. He was like, okay, fine, recovery girl. So he goes to the nurse's office, and she starts, actually doing tests on him. Seeing if he's okay, like any broken bones and stuff. And, well, she says it's going to take some time, so he's going to have to, just stay here for a while. And he asked if he could just take a nap. She said, sure. So, well, since Zuko takes a nap, he goes into the mindscape, and he basically sees the actual, users, but he can't talk. And they're all just looking at him. Like, legit. All looking at him. Even though he doesn't have the power, he's still ate it and he's gaining it. And it's like, what the heck? I mean, he can't talk enough, and so he just waves hi and all. In which they're just completely and utterly shocked by him. He goes, and basically, like, the first user just, like, snap his fingers to let Zuko talk. And he's like, sup? Zuko Midoriya. Who are you? And he goes, like, they go by name, and then they get to Nashimura. And he's like, so you're all past users. Cool. Anyways, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? And they like, well, first off, reason why we called you here, the quirk is changing. He was like, huh? Say, well, the fourth user says, like, well, kid, the thing is, since you died, technically, was brought back as a vengeful spirit, and basically you're also, a protector one, it's like, we don't know what the quirk is changing while developing. Like, you're getting the quirk, you're getting everything about it, but there's stuff added on to more of it. Like, it's permanently going to be different now. And the first user agrees. He can feel it too. And everyone else. He's like, cool. So, anything I need to know about? He's like, yeah. You're already trained a lot for 2 years. You can handle 100% of it already. So, just try work on unlocking our quirks. He's like, okay. Anyways, thanks for letting me know, I guess. Bye. As he leaves. And they're just like, oh, that went better than I expected. And he was like, yeah. I mean, he's not like Jason, so what you expect the third one says. So, yeah. Anyways. So after this little nap, he wakes up. And then Recovery goes in shock, and he's like, what? She goes, everything seems to be fine, and you have no pulse, blood, probably only the only fluids I have basically is saliva and going to the bathroom. And she goes, TMI. He was like, yeah, well, I mean, you're a vengeful spirit and protector one, so what do you think's gonna happen? I was gonna have a pulse? No. But, yeah, whatever. So he gets up, he's like, is it okay for me to go now? She does not. So, yeah. Anyway, basically, I think, though, after getting out of UA, Izuku will be walking a little bit. And, because of, I want to say, he was in there for quite a while. So, Bako texts him saying he'll be getting home. Like, just come when you're basically done. And, Izuku was like, since he saw it, he's like, well, alright. So he was just like that. But on the way, let's just say he basically was seeing something happening in a dark alleyway. And he was like, great. Just fucking great. Okay, so Zuko goes into the alleyway, he brings out the Jason mask, he puts it on. And the machete, I never said the machete would appear or disappear, so, I mean, does he really need it? Probably. But anyways, excuse me. Actually, yeah, let's just say the no. Yeah, he doesn't have the machete on him. So basically, while Zuko's walking over, he basically sees this blue hair, blue eye girl with the UA uniform on. And he's thinking, student? These guys are. And then basically she's using her quirk on them. One of them is able to dodge and, well, basically about to stab her, and then Zuko just teleports, catching the guy's wrist though after coming out of the teleportation basically skill he has. And the guy's like, "What the?" And Zuko's just crushing him, twisting his hand. As he drops the knife as well, let's just say imagine the sleeping bag but with walls. As Zuko basically then grabs the guy and just starts smacking him around in every direction, brutally killing him. And well the one friend that the guy that was hit saw this happening and just ran away. As the mess disappeared, he looks back at the ground and be like, "You okay?" He goes, he goes, "Yeah, anti-hero. Don't care." Anyways, look, I'm not gonna tell no one for you using your quirk. So you don't tell no one. I don't tell no one. She's like, "Yeah, thanks." He was like, "Great." Basically, while Zuko's leaving, she asks, "Wait, what's your name?" He's like, "Zuko Midoriya." He basically turned back and said it. It's like, "See ya." And they leave. So he leaves. So yeah. So he gets back over to Bakugo's house. Mitsuki, says welcome, while Bakugo is just being well, this one nicer. He was like, "Mom, who's at the it's you, Zuko." He's like, "Yeah, anyways. What's for dinner?" And well, one of his favorite dishes, katsudon. So he's like, "Yes." So yeah. After eating, let's just say a couple days pass. And some people are just noticing some people are dying mysteriously or being brutally murdered, which brings attention to some heroes, which stops every so often. So yeah. And well, basically this is the day where both Bakugo and Zuki into 1A. Basically they get their letters and tell them when to basically start school, along with telling them the score and who got, first in it. So after, they basically cheer for that, they do celebrate. And well, I'm trying to think. Because I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah. Okay, so basically, I think then what will happen is, since I did. Yeah, okay, so basically, they will arrive at school, after 2 days. So it'll be a Monday. And, well, when they see the school, they're like, "Oh, we're finally in here. We're both in class 1A. It's like, yeah, just hoping we can meet some good people. And which, well, when they basically get lost during school until they find it. And it's just like, hey, yeah, this is it. So when he opens the door, no one's there besides them. They were gonna sit, and and Zuko would just sleep. So yeah, he already notices the presence of Aizawa. So yeah, he's not gonna tell no one nor do anything. Sorry. So yeah, they would kind of just wait for everyone. They would chat amongst themselves until they would chat with a couple of girls and the classmates, and then basically, after basically a couple of minutes, Aizawa would get up and says, "Quiet class." Basically blah blah blah, same thing in canon. Until they pull out balls. Like he basically like so basically softball throw. You guys can use a course. You're able to use a course now. Come on. So yeah, that's what happens. I mean, people got up right away. Some people were like, well, "What the?" But then realized they need to get up right away. And yeah, it wasn't easy, but it did defeat Dracula. Somehow gave me the ultimate something I forget. But anyways, after Aizawa does burn out the uniform, Suzuku goes and grabs him along with Bakugo, a couple of people, and then well, yeah. But anyways, Kirishima was like, okay, like what do you do? And he's like, exercise. And yeah, I mean that's basically it. What Zuko does. So continuing on, what happens is that Izuku does live, but anyways, yeah. So basically, Izuku will be going for the ball throw first. He's like, use all your strength, palm child. And he's like, okay. So Zuko basically gets ready for the wind-up and then just throws the ball into orbit. And it goes past the sun and land on Pluto. Which I just laughed. Let's just say it was like 42,000 light years away. So yeah. Everyone shot. Bakugo tried to beat Zuko's record, but he couldn't. Because Bakugo had a few more experience than me. So, yeah. Sorry. Anyways. I know those people are trying to help or just getting in trouble. A little bit both. Someone tells, well, Shinra. And, well, everything goes... Wait, why did I say Shinra? Probably think of Gilgamesh. I was just watching a couple of videos of Gilgamesh Deku. So, yeah. But anyways. So, basically, after that, the show, everyone says, like, they're hyped to use their quirk. Zuko says, I didn't even use my quirk, but whatever. He's gonna say himself. And Aizawa just tells him to be quiet, and then said he was still spelling one, which, yeah, he just tells him I don't care, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I mean, it just hurts, basically. It's just basically a normal thing, and, well, boom. I mean, like, everyone thought it'd be normal, but then, like, Izuku just wiped them all out after, as I was said, about his speech. So, yeah. And basically, everyone's like wondering, how the heck are you? Like, I'm just stronger than all of you. Anyways, catch you guys later. He does go over, get changed, then he gets back real quick, and then be like, so, oh, like, so basically, everyone you have off. Take the day and relax. Alright? It's starting class tomorrow. But because he did say that the whole entire expelled, like, he just say, like, I'll spell anyone who comes in last place. And they also promise on Luminetta and says, like, yeah, this class has promise. So, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to bed. So, I hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Bye, everyone.